Guys, welcome back, and today I am going to give a big shout out to Amy and Alicia. Thanks to them, we got these chocolates.
For their parents.
Yeah, the presents as well.
Hello and welcome back to my vlog. Apologies that it's been quite a while since I last updated. There's been several updates, some positive, some negative, but today I want to focus on my part 2 of the previous episode, and that is factors contributing to my recovery. I want to start off with paying a special thank you to everybody who's prayed for me and all the well wishes. The positive energy, I'm sure, has contributed to my recovery. People all around the globe have said prayers for me. I've got a lot of Filipino friends, and they're always particularly religious, and they've sent their prayers to me. And my family, particularly the Simpsons, they've all been saying prayers for me, and Krista, my cousin, has asked her church to pray for me, so that's really humbling, and I like to think those prayers have been heard. The next person I want to thank is my neurologist, because he caters for people who are pretty much past it. The other hospitals, when they don't feel like there's anything more they can do for their patients, he gets their patients. So it's people like me who are at the end of the line. He's a gamma knife specialist, and gamma knife is focused on small and new tumours. And so I went to see him in, I think, October, maybe November, and I was in for 2 nights, and he removed 8 tumours and in my brain. And so and then I saw him again in February, and he removed 1 tumour by gamma knife. Basically, in February, I was diagnosed with 2 weeks to live. So he then treated me for 2 weeks, and I was put on a course of stereotactic radiation. And you can only have 1 dose of radiation on a particular tumour. Any more than that, and you'll be brain damaged. So stereotactic radiation is a single dose of radiation, but it's spread over 5 days, consecutive days. And so they only use the same dose, but therefore they're able to target the tumour more efficiently. And this has been successful. So every month from March, April, May, June has seen a successive reduction, i.e. the tumours are shrinking. And at first it was by quite a huge amount. And I feel a lot better for it too. I mean, I've had about 2 to 3 seizures a month, but they're all because the tumours are shrinking. So it's seen in a positive light, really. So I've made notes for the next section because it's quite lengthy, and that is of willpower. I refused to believe that I was going to part from the world. I had the option to, but I chose to fight and stay for the kids. I was sad, upset, but not defeated. At no one time did I fall asleep believing that I would not wake up the next day. These were short-term goals, and I had to make it to another day. And if that meant making it through the next hour or 2, I told myself that I could do it. I had my children, my nephew, my family, friends, whatever, to fight for. It was all too easy. It could have been all too simple to switch off at any time during my darkest times. I really genuinely felt if I switched off, I could go down the dark path and it would all be so simple. But at first, when I knew my family were flying in, I just held out for one more day so that I could see them. My mother and father arrived. My family's arrival was staggered over a couple of days, and Lorna and my nephew Wesley were to arrive the following day. So I had to hang in there all over again, and I just gritted my teeth and knuckled down. But I told myself if I just could win these mini battles, so I just dug in a little bit further. Successive batches of friends were visiting, including Pascal from England, Mark from Australia, and every day became a little battle to just stretch and fight on. I saw my granddad, who has long since passed from this world, and that gave me inner strength. I was talking about this to Brook only recently, and he offered a simile in which US Marines undergo intense training whereby they're offered the opportunity to quit constantly through rigorous training. But the expectation is that only a mere percentage pass. They have to break down day by day and just focus on the task ahead of them, and that is what I did. I could take pain, which happened in fits and spurts, and I had a short memory, so earlier bouts of pain were quickly forgotten. Just getting through this to the day where I could leave hospital was a goal in itself. These short-term goals gradually became longer or medium-term goals. I wanted to feel fresh air and see the outdoors, and a special taxi was arranged for me to fit in my wheelchair inside the taxi with me in it. I was accompanied by friends, family, and neighbors, and the doctor, and I made a trip to the local park. And that was a major milestone. One day, my friend Bacon came over, and we made an effort to go to the Combini, and getting outside of the house in the wheelchair was pretty arduous because, bearing in mind, I was completely paralyzed and reliant on people lifting me up, and Bacon and my mother, between them, could do that. I woke up one day and looked down at the state of myself. I was paralyzed down one side. I could not speak. My only communication was to point at pictures. I was in nappies, I was totally helpless, and there was no sign of recovery. We didn't know if I would recover from the paralysis, but I just went on and did what I had to do, eat and sleep. I didn't feel sorry for myself. Yes, I cried a lot because I wanted to talk and raise my kids. I was so far removed from that objective. I just accepted that this was the deck that I had been dealt with. I wanted to be able to walk to the toilet. It was 3 months before I managed to get out of bed, and that was with the aid of a walker, which itself was scary because I had to lean on it with both arms, but I had no strength in my arms to lean on it. My right arm was still new to movement, recovering from paralysis. But that was a goal. I wanted to live for Alyssa's birthday, and I made it up the stairs on her birthday for the first time by crawling. I wanted to see both daughters' birthdays, so I made it to October for Isla's birthday. So you can see there's These are steps which are goals, and I've had to fight for everything. Then we managed to do hotel trips. My family thought it would be good for me to have a memorable trip, and then with me, as it may be the last one, but little did they know. That was the first time, though, that I felt like I was dying, and I cried most of the night because I saw my body in the hotel mirror, and it was littered with tumours. My body looked like an orc from Lord of the Rings. I don't know why I hadn't seen them before, but probably because my family did their utmost to hide them from me. But I got on with it. I lived for the moment. I was getting my strength back, remarkably, albeit in a wheelchair, so my health was defying my physical and medical appearance. I kept on setting goals for myself, realistic goals. Maybe not realistic at the time, but I believed they were achievable. Christmas, Choco's birthday in January, then my birthday in February were all achievements that I did not expect to make, partly because they were longer term goals and I had to focus on shorter term goals. We went skiing in February too, although that was a bit of a disaster because I had no muscles in my legs and I had lost all spatial awareness, but it was still a trip. I returned to work in March, and then by June I was working full time. There have been setbacks along the way. In February, I was told that because of my hematoma on the brain, I wouldn't make it 2 weeks past that. But like I said earlier, they treated it with stereotactic radiation. I've been told by my neurologist that I'm extremely lucky, and I believe that I am, but I also believe you make your own luck. I've come this far, that I won't allow anything else to defeat me. I've been told that the tumour on my kidney is not responding to the immunotherapy, but I see this as just another obstacle that I will have to overcome one way or another. I don't deem it as life-threatening. If cancer does defeat me one day, then I will rest in peace, knowing that I've bought myself this special time to spend on this earth with loved ones. But I've got no intention of going out just yet.